Welcome back, you guys. This is Mark with NCEngravers. We have a G22 here. We want to take you guys briefly through the cut work that we're going to be performing. We're going to see some major changes for this weapon. Obviously, one of the first things that you guys are going to notice is it's a used gun, right? So we've got a lot of wear. We have a lot of usage on this. This, I think, is gun either number 4 or number 5 from a local customer. So he has continuously brought us several different builds, and you're going to see a couple more of those videos come out here shortly, but this happens to be the same customer as some of the other ones, and some of the patterns are very similar because he's building somewhat of a theme or a specific design on each one of these, even though they're different. So guys, let's take you quickly through the work. We're going to start with the slide work. We're going to go into the framework and kind of just give us we want to just kind of give that mindset of what we're doing. So as the work is being performed, you kind of just get a better feel of what is going on. Also, we're using a new camera, so hopefully the quality is a little bit higher. We're going to still use the same camera for the recording on the machines, but we're going to be using the new camera for the before and after video. So hopefully you guys will be able to see that just a little bit better than we have in the past. So first and foremost, we're going to be running the hive on the top front of the slide. So we're going to be seeing some hive work up here, okay? And we're also going to be moving the optic into the slide and opening up the rear dovetail. So this is all going to get reconfigured here and move around. So this guy's going to go into the slide. We're going to open up the rear dovetail again so we can put an iron sight back on it and go back to co-witnessing. As far as the slide goes, that's about it. We're going to go back to a black coloring. Now let's take this guy down. So on the barrel, we're going to end up keeping most of how it looks, with the exception of we're going to be doing the hive on the round part. So we're going to be able to see some of that through the hive, through the top of the slide here. And then we're going to go back to what's going to be a satin finish. So we're not going to be doing a Cerakoting. We're not going to be doing black nitride or gold. We're going to strip the existing coating off of here. And we're going to end up toning the stainless into a satin type finish to just kind of give it a nice offset between the black and the stainless. So that's going to be the barrel. And then on the frame, of course, this is going to get stripped down, and we're going to end up doing the Sandman pattern in this zone. So this will all get shaved off. We'll remove all this junk here, the writing. This will get a nice border around the outside, and then we'll end up doing the Sandman pattern, which is kind of a half moon shape. So we are going to get to see a little bit of laser work as well. The frame's going to go back to black, and of course, we're going to get everything put back together. We're going to discuss it. We're going to be able to show you guys exactly what it looks like, kind of going from the more rough appearance as we see now into a new style and a new appearance overall in the end. So guys, let's jump over to the CNC and let's get this work started. All right, guys, we have completed the work. I want to take you guys through that, each one of these pieces to the puzzle at a time. I want to talk about the slide, the barrel, the frame individually. We're going to build this out so you're going to get to see it as a whole. Let's start with the slide. Now, first and foremost, you're going to just realize that it's a big change over when it originally came in. There was a lot of wear on this slide. Of course, it was in a different configuration. The optic was sitting on a plate system. It was tying up the dovetail, so we didn't have a free dovetail in the back to co-witness. All that's been changed now. This is the ultimate setup of moving the optic into the slide. Okay, so it's lower into the slide, being able to co-witness. So we have Trijicon suppressor sights front and back on this now. So if you are running some kind of a plate system, once again, this is the way that you're gonna wanna have it overall. You're gonna wanna send that in and have it cut like this because you're allowing for a full co-witness. You're allowing the optic to set lower into it, so you're not gonna have any issues with finding holsters that work and things like that. Let's talk about the hive. So we end up doing the hive cut on the front zone here. Of course, that's gonna be weight reduction, and it also matches the barrel that we're gonna get into here in a moment. So real nice change overall. Then we have the slide coating itself. So this is a coating that we do in-house. It's not Cerakote. It's actually a couple different products put together, and that's actually how we generate this finish on here. It's more durable than what you're gonna find with Cerakote, and it matches a lot of the frames that are out of the market, whether you have a SIG or you have a Glock or you have a CZ. It's really a close combination to what those black frames are. So of course, that's why we created a coating that kind of works with all of those different vendors and different makes and model pistols out there. So it's a real clean coating overall. It's not something flashy. It's not something, you know, odd or weird. It really is a nice flowing piece. Guys, we're gonna take the slide, we're gonna set it aside. I'm gonna grab this hanger. I'm working behind the camera, as you guys know that, so we're gonna do our best not to destroy anything. We're gonna jump into the barrel. So the barrel itself is was obviously a stainless aftermarket barrel. It's not a factory barrel. And as you guys had seen that at the beginning of this video, it's pretty well whipped. We were seeing a lot of wear on the bottom side of this. That's just the nature of what you're gonna get sometimes with Glock slides, is they're gonna wear, and they're gonna wear a little bit different. Sometimes we'll see wear on the top of the barrel. Sometimes we'll see it on the front zone here. Usually we see it on the bottom here. Each and every pistol out on the market is gonna wear a little bit different, and each barrel is gonna wear a little different. And of course, once you get into an aftermarket piece into a factory slide, you could expect to see some wear again because it's two different vendors mixed together. This is our satin finish. So we don't actually apply a finish to the stainless itself. What we do is we actually use a special blend of sandblast media to create this finish. It's a little bit more of a matte, dull type of look. It's not quite just straight up aluminum oxide sandblasted. If you guys are curious, it's a little bit different than that. Aluminum oxide is it's really rough, so we don't use that. It's actually a glass bead that we use. It's a couple different versions of that we make as our blended, as kind of our blended media. So that's kind of what it gives us overall. We can expect to still see wear. It's going to wear, but the idea is that it looks a little less flashy, and overall it just seems to be a little bit nicer. You guys can kind of see the hive here. This is going to match the slide. So let's go ahead and stick this in here. We haven't put any oil on this, okay? So we're just going to do our best to get this kind of put together. Of course, that's all going to get done before it goes back to the customer. It's definitely a nice look. I like that. It'd be nice to see some other small accent pieces match this. Slide stop, slide releases, mag wells, things like that. So that would be kind of nice to see kind of a two-tone. Of course, all those pieces would stay in the raw, so you don't have to worry about any coatings being peeled off of them because there's no real coating being applied to those stainless pieces. All right, guys, let's jump into the frame. Now, of course, this was an early generation pistol. It's not a Gen 5. And we were already seeing some wear on it. We ended up doing a side shave, the Sandman, which is this pattern right here, bordered outline. Of course, we have a grip texture that we do up here. One of the reasons that we do this texture up here on the front, instead of applying the Sandman up in this zone, is because it would be such a small pattern, even though it would match the larger zone, it really just isn't gonna show the detail. We end up getting a little bit more of a finger grip off of this because they are somewhat vertical cuts, and your fingers kind of going across them. So we end up doing that on a lot of the oddball pistols. Now, of course, what I mean by that is if you see us do like a Gen 519 or we're doing a hive, we'll usually add that because this zone right up in here is not the same size on all pistol frames that are out there on the market. Okay, so some of them are totally different, whether you're going with a 48, a 43, a 26, a 27, a 21. This zone is not always the same size. Okay, so sometimes when we run into something that's a little bit smaller, like we see here on the 22, it ends up fitting a little bit better with this than it does with this. Now, of course, on a 19, this is a larger zone, so we can kind of get away with doing that pattern if that's something that the customer wants to do. Went ahead and recoated it black. Of course, this is once again one of our house coatings that we have here. It's not Cerakote. It's very close finish to what you're going to get with the factory. I like it a little bit better. It's a little bit darker. It's a little bit more matte than what you get with the factory frames. The factory frames over time, obviously, where your hand points are up in these zones, up in these zones, they end up getting somewhat shiny because they get worn down. So it is nice to go back to a color once it's been stippled. So let's go ahead and put this together. Let's just kind of see what we come up with as a whole. Once again, I am behind the camera, so I'm gonna do my best here to kind of get this put together. All right. I really like the overall look. Major change from when this came in as far as, you know, it's just really nice to see something being reconditioned instead of just going out and buying something new. And I say that because a lot of people have a light, they've got a barrel, they've got maybe some iron sights and an optic. They already have pieces that they want to continuously use without forking over that money to buy a new one when you could just recondition what you already have. Everything gets gone through, you know, new coatings, new, just everything gets, you know, reprocessed, so to speak. And if we find an issue with something while we're doing it, first thing we do is tell the customer, hey, we got an issue with your extractor. Hey, we've got an issue with the guide rod. Or hey, we don't know what's going on, but the trigger's not resetting. It looks like it needs to be replaced. A lot of the times, if you provide pieces like pins, you know, you want to do something like a takedown lever or a slide stop, we're going to put all those in. We already have to take them out to do the work, and we're going to put the new ones in when it kind of gets reassembled. So it's a great opportunity to not pay anything and have all those pieces put in all at the same time. It just makes a lot more sense to process that at the same time. We can make sure that the weapon is cycling like it's supposed to. We can make sure all the pieces go in like they're supposed to. And occasionally we do find some issues. There's a lot of different vendors that are out there. You know, we'll give you our professional opinion that, hey, there's something going on here. The barrel, the factory barrel works. The aftermarket barrel doesn't work. Something's going on here. We don't know what's going on. And we do see a lot of different makes and model parts in different configurations, and we can really give you a better feeling of probably need to replace that part, probably doesn't make any sense, or maybe that aftermarket part isn't the right one, even though it says it's for, you know, a Gen 5, it really is only for a Gen 3 or Gen 4. So, you know, as far as the recommendation goes, you should let us do that since we just have a ton of background knowledge on how those pieces fit into your gun and into your weapon. Guys, if you have not been following along, I would encourage you to do so on Instagram and Facebook. Of course, subscribe, like the video on YouTube if you happen to actually like it. It encourages other people to find these videos, to reply to comments on these videos, to ask about work being done. It really helps us as a business grow, because it does encourage other people that people are getting stuff done. They're kind of getting a little bit off the beaten path, and they're having other things done that we're not seeing on the webpage. So there's a lot of encouragement that goes on there just with new people. They're not 100% sure what they're doing. They've never had this done before. So of course, we would also encourage you to go over to Google and leave a review if you've had work done. Lots of Google reviews over there. I think the account's been up for maybe a year. And I think, I don't know what we're at, 70 some, maybe 80 some, depends on when this video comes out. So we don't have a ton of Google reviews, but what I can say is we have current ones. So you're gonna find stuff that's probably been out this week or last week, okay? You're gonna see people posting all the time on there, so it's not like we're a company that's had Google reviews for the last 4 or 5 years, and we really haven't published any or had anybody publish any for us in, you know, a year or two. This is active and current stuff. This is stuff that's going on right now. So we would encourage you to go over there, read those, get a real good feeling of, you know, how did it go down with those other customers? Were they satisfied or weren't they satisfied? Guys, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to let us know. The quickest way to process those is going to be by email, because we can say, can you send us a picture? We need to see what we're talking about. Oh, we don't 100% know if we can work on your gun. Please send us a picture of your slider, of your frame. So this is usually why we would process orders by email, because it allows us to kind of have a paperwork trail of what's going on. So when your project does arrive, we do know what we've already referenced. We do already know what the work is going to be done. We have a lot of projects going on at the same time, and the best way to do that is to keep them separated by email, and it just seems to make the most sense for us. This is why quality of service, turnaround time, and communication is usually at the very top side of the list when it comes to us versus other companies, because we can reference things. We can say, yeah, we saw a picture of your slide, or we didn't see that when we originally discussed it because a picture wasn't sent and we did ask for it. You know, so we can kind of eliminate a lot of those issues by just going through the steps and through the motions and making sure that your work is done according to how you want it done, and making sure that we actually can do the work before something's sent in. So there's a lot of reasons why we do what we do. Once again, if you guys need anything, feel free to let us know. And stay tuned. We have a lot of new builds that are going to be coming out. We have a really unique one as our next one. I'm going to forewarn you on that. And we're just going to kind of see what happens with that. I think it's going to be somewhat controversial, so you're probably going to want to watch that one. And that should be coming out here very soon. So guys, please leave a comment. Let us know if you need anything. Have a good one.